welcome to the Stream in Terror. Today I'm joined by Interscare
Hello, everyone.
and just Interscare. Interscare wifey can't make it today, aka Miss
Yeah.
Intersquare, but it's okay. Actually, I'll do this real quick. Okay, I couldn't do it while we were on the other page because I'm not fancy. Nope, stop. Grabbing everything but what I wanted to grab. There we go. Move the letters. No, I don't want to move the letters. Move this. No, I don't want to move this.
Hilarious.
Apparently, Kimberly has to work with someone she doesn't really like. Sorry, Kimberly.
Oh, I hate that.
And I think Sydney said Copper are on some antiviral meds. I think that's her cat. I hope they get better fast.
Absolutely.
And also, welcome to Temper Dragon Audio. You looked at hi. It hasn't said anything else since, so I wasn't able to read anything else. So that's all 3 people that are here. Welcome, everyone. And we have 8 viewers, but there's some hiding in the shadows. It's fine. You can stay there. It's safe. I cleaned them all up. Don't worry about it. There's no spider webs this time. So far, paranormal stories have won our little voting.
Alrighty.
It's got 5 votes and it's all paranormal. Wow. The funny part is paranormal stories are coming up tomorrow or the day after. So I got you guys covered too. I got paranormal stories coming out. Don't worry, I'm just losing my marbles. It's fine. It's part of the show. 242 ain't losing our marbles. Is 242 really living?
Right? I think that's the same for all of us.
I think so too. Good evening, Nico. Welcome. So did you want to do the first story or do you want me to do it?
It doesn't matter to me, however you want it to go.
I'll get you to go first. If you want to do a paranormal
Alrighty.
story or if you want to do something else, it's fine too.
Alrighty, I got a paranormal story pulled up here.
Perfect.
I also want to apologize to everyone for my voice right now. It's like messing up, so I apologize, but I'm going to do my best. Here we go. A family cousin recently reminded me of an experience from when I was around 12 years old. I hadn't thought about it in so long that I had nearly forgotten it even happened. Growing up, my cousins and I spent a lot of time at my grandparents' house. We all lived in a small community and were around the same age. Their house was pretty central in the community, and we often met up there to hang out. There were many old paths that used to be narrow roads leading to different gathering spots around the community, and one of them ran directly through my grandparents' backyard. We kids loved using them to jump between houses and meet other groups to just hang out. There were a handful of local ghost stories. Most were pretty typical, about old abandoned houses and such. One story that was well known and had been passed down to us was about how the town hall had once hosted weekly games of bingo. There was a man who never missed it and routinely walked the same route from his home to the town hall for bingo every Tuesday evening. The path he would have taken from his home to the town hall passed through my grandparents' property. Despite using that trail often, I can't remember ever being particularly concerned about crossing paths with the ghost. One evening, my cousin and I had just finished dinner at my grandparents' house, and were sitting on their porch, when we noticed movement coming through the trees on the trail. We watched, waiting to see who was coming to join us, but could clearly see that it was an adult male wearing a newsboy-style cap. The entire moment felt out of place, and both of us remember how clearly we could see him walking towards the portion that cut through the backyard. But he never emerged from the trees. I hope he wasn't disappointed when he arrived at the hall that hadn't hosted a bingo night in a decade.
Yeah,
And that's the end of that story.
it'd be so disappointing to go to a hall that doesn't have bingo when you expect bingo. It's fine. All the other ghosts are playing bingo. He's not alone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was expecting an old guy because it was bingo, but the way that he described it, at least to me, it sounded like it was like an adult male wearing a newsboy style cap. Okay, I see now. I was picturing while I was reading it, I guess I missed the adult part, and I was just picturing like this young little kid ghost.
He is now. It doesn't matter what the actual story was. It's just a little kid that wanted to go play bingo because his grandparents are there. Can't say otherwise now. Good evening, Evil Outcast and Duchess of Darkness. Welcome, guys. And don't worry, my voice has not been great. Ever since I got COVID, my voice has gotten scratchy. And I've tried everything I can think of to try to help it. It's not worked.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Sucks. It's like, yes. Yes, I like to do things. I like to read stories for fun, and now you do it for a living. But now my voice is just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either it's going to be this forever, or it'll get better. One way or the other. There's nothing I can do. I've tried everything I can think of. So it's been like this for 2-3 months.
Well, I can't tell, so it sounds good to me.
It's normally when I narrate. I every once in a while it's like, eat, and it's just like, fuck. I've also tried not to do very much with my voice today to try to make it better. Be smart. That's what I say. Alright. I'm going to read one of the another paranormal story. If you want to pick up a paranormal or creepy encounter, whichever you want for next.
Alrighty.
Alright. Sister is actively haunting me. My sister Sherry and I were nearly 8 years apart. She was the eldest, of course, that made her constantly take along. She was at the end of the boomer years. That made me Gen X and completely opposite. Never mind that she was a winter and I was a winter and I was a summer baby. I was twice divorced, and she was in her 27 years of marriage. She wasn't just a stay-at-home. She wasn't just a stay for the kids woman. She was financially strapped to my parents. She was trapped all of her adult life. My mother had kicked me out after the first divorce. After that, Cher and I had a very business type relationship. We always stayed in touch, no matter the fuss. We lost our dad to a fatal car crash in 2012. Then we lost Cher to 4 different terminal cancers on December the 16th of 2020. In her last moment, she said, "Why does my birthday have to be so far away?" It would have been on the 29th. She was in unimaginable pain, but wanted one last Christmas and birthday with us. Their death took all barriers away between my mother and I. My mother was in the TB clinic at least 5 times in my life. Unfortunately, my mother got the most powerful genes from her, so now it's my fight to stay close to her. Stay close to her, I think is what I meant to say. In Irish families, seniority is everything. Now, it's my turn to take the reins, as I'm the eldest child. It was several months after Sherry's passing that she finally touched with me. I was in the bathroom, of course. Leave it to my sister. I felt like someone was gently placing their hands on my left shoulder. I ignored it. We are a suspicious family, but sprinkled with a dash of skepticism. Then, when I walked into my room, I felt like a pointed fingertip tapping on my left shoulder again. I felt like my roommate had snuck up behind me. I turned, but saw no one. My anxiety was at 11, but I said out loud, Cher, is that you? Contact me any way you want. Just don't touch me, please. She hasn't since, but will not leave me alone. Same with my niece, Ashley. If she has her way of reaching out to each of us. Leave it to my sister. She's the type that won't be waiting in line for heaven. Get to St. Peter and whisper, I have some unfinished business. I'll be right back. Very soon after, the hearts would appear in my niece everywhere she went. In the clouds, in the trees, as she walked with Sherry so many times. Then the numbers began. I blew it off 7 times until I couldn't anymore. I was on a workers' comp and could care less what day it was, let alone what time it was. I began seeing 1:11 or 11:11 on my clock so often I stopped listening to her. I would just acknowledge Sherry and thank her for reaching out, and then I look after the family as best I could. I started dedicating asking her sister or her daughter if it happened to her. She was in shock, of course, and began sharing every moment she could remember. Surprised yet not, she had been seeing 333 all the time, and I remember her calling while she had been texting and messages. She felt so validated that she wasn't crazy. Sherry and I had a love/hate relationship with Christmas after my niece and nephew were born. A piece of her did truly love it. I hadn't since we had moved so far from a family. The first Christmas we spent at Mom's after her pass gave us more evidence that ghost adventures ever did. I had called my niece to see when Mom wanted us there. She turned around and said, Yes, won't you believe what I'm looking at? In panic I said, take a screenshot. The time on the stove was 11:11 a.m., and the others were minutes away. She was a fantastic cook, and her kitchen was her world. We just said, there she is, saying Merry Christmas. Then, as I was about to pull into my mom's apartment complex, my clock in my car was 1:11 p.m. I took a picture and showed my niece later on. After dinner, we were at Mom's kitchen cleaning up. My cousin, my niece, and honestly focused on getting the kitchen cleaned up for my mom. Then we planned to open gifts. My cousin was facing the stove and my niece and I was facing away. We had decided to talk to her about things and Cher had been doing to us. My cousin began raising an eyebrow and interrupted us. She said, but you should turn around right now and look at the stove. Of course, what time was it but 3:33 p.m.? Yep, she hasn't stopped. It's been 4 years now, and I always know when my niece is thinking of calling me, when I should check on Mom, when something is very wrong. The time isn't all she can do. She was never tech savvy in life, she is now though. Anyone with a YouTube playlist will know this. It takes at least 3 steps to edit it in any way. I always watch a specific playlist of music videos before a therapy session, whenever it was my therapy day. After a really taxing week soon after New Year's, I went to start my playlist I named Therapy Lessons, and the first song was one I had never added, even though it was a song my idol sang. That was it. I always wanted to believe, but never had the experience until she passed. She continues to this day. It's been 4 years. There's this huge ordeal between my mother and us and how she should be buried. My niece heard she says multiple times before hospice came that she wanted her ashes spread on a beach where she grew up. Mother wants a proper Irish burial in their family, so she has place to visit her. We agreed to circumstances caused a delay. My niece and I decided to let my mother to have her way. She has the portion of the ashes and says she'll take her home when she goes. Things have changed now. We're taking her home this summer. After all, feel Cher not resting and won't let go until then. I'm looking forward to giving her the peace she needs to move on. I miss her terribly. Something in me believes she won't show up every now and then anymore. It will make me feel like I'm going to be grieving her all over, though no one in my life yet deserves to more. I really thought if I ever experienced anything paranormal, it would make me feel like my soul is breaking. Yet part of me is so selfish. I just want to keep those little moments coming so I don't feel so alone. The biggest part of my heart can't wait to rent an Airbnb for June. Enough room for everyone who wants to watch us. We plan to buy a spray of Cher's favorite flowers and take one last swim with her. Love you too much, my big sis. We'll be happy with that. You can feel free to spend the time with our family, as most are waiting for you. Peace be with you, Cher. See you when it's my time. That's the end of that one. Sorry, that was weirdly...
It was a very touching story, though.
It was touching,
You know?
but there's a few times where my brain was like, those words don't go together. That's just my brain.
Yeah, I have those nights. I feel like tonight's going to be one of those nights for me. I'm not even going to lie.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. We're professional.
More professional. Keep it going. Yeah, no, I mean, that happens, you know. But the thing is, that story, it was definitely very touching. Especially the part where she was like, I thought that I would be crushed if something paranormal ever happened, but I actually feel like a little bit of like joy and relief from it.
Yeah.
You know, that's lovely.
There's still somewhere out there watching over you. I totally get that feeling. And yes, sorry, Duchess of Darkness, their Interscare wifey is not able to make it today. I just got the Interscare. No wifey.
You got to deal with me.
The horror! Which is the point. We're horror narrators.
That is the point. That is the point. Absolutely.
Over dramatic. That's how I am. I think it's a good thing there's not a camera on me half the time. People will just look at me weird with all the weird faces I make.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah, but you do put a camera on yourself.
Yeah. I've just gotta put a cap on it during those times.
Just hold on. Bloop. Yeah.
I'll be narrating, and like half the time I'm narrating, I'm actually like making the face that I imagine the person in the story is making.
Yeah, I do that too. But they've proven that when you are like voice acting and stuff, to actually do stuff like that, so you actually can portray it better.
Oh wow.
So if you want someone to be smiling in your story, to actually smile, because you can actually hear it in the voices.
Oh wow.
Half the time when it sounds like I'm crying, I do have tears in my eyes. I have worked myself into tears a few times just for a story. And then there's a story where I wasn't supposed to be crying, but I did cry anyways, because that story, woo.
Well, that's how you make it realistic too, you know?
Yes.
So that's always it's a weird place to be as a narrator, where you have to make yourself cry because like you don't want to feel that emotion, but yet you have to do it for the story.
Yes. I don't want to cry. I don't want to feel sad, but I need to. And like I said, I'm a little over the top. Just how I am.
Absolutely. Hey, you got to be over the top sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
You got to be.
I just like making people smile and laugh. It's just how I am.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're not over the top, that means you're under the bottom, and that's never a good place to be.
Can we be over the top or under the bottom? I'll be over the top. Because one of those sounds like I'm about to be run over by something. And that doesn't sound fun. Maybe I've just been reading too much horror stuff lately. I keep looking behind me to see my dog, and then I remember my dog's not in the room, and I go, oh.
Oh, that's sad.
Why is she not here?
You gotta love the puppers.
You for the pets. She's not here for the pets. You mean? She's very silent though most of the time, so it's really good.
I love the Streamlabs bot. Hey, you. Yes, you.
I wrote that.
That's great.
Yeah, I wanted stuff that would catch people's attention, like, hey, you, yes, you, remember to be kind to each other and show some respect. I want respect. There's another one that tells you to hit the like button and everything, too. I finally realized why it wasn't going off, so I was able to fix it.
Oh, nice.
It only took me months. Because I forgot.
That happens too. You know, when you're doing so many things, though, so many different things, some of that stuff just gotta fall to the wayside, you know?
Exactly.
Until
Too many
you get
hats.
time to actually do it.
Got too many hats. You don't want hats? So it feels like when I'm doing different things, it's like, okay, this hat goes on now. Okay, take that one off. I put this hat on now. Okay, take that one off. Narrating hat, making picture hat, making video hat, going crazy hat. I'm trying to get rid of that one, but it just keeps showing back up. No matter what I do.
I totally feel that. Hello, Kimberly.
Welcome. She's stuck at work.
I know. That's sad.
Yes.
Work sucks.
I mean, technically you're stuck at work too.
Technically, yeah.
Technically I'm stuck at work. But
Yeah.
this is my work right now, so. And this is always your work.
Yeah.
Can
Which-
never escape.
Which I'm so thankful for. You know, I love doing YouTube full time. I absolutely love it. But sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes, I do miss the social aspect of having a job.
Yes. Yeah, there is some real upsides to going somewhere and seeing people and be able to talk to them instead of just sitting there behind a computer, but like, there's no one around me. I'm just by
Yeah.
myself.
My therapist, man, I'm sure he has a field day with my job. It's like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I just sit and read about people's trauma all day.
I sit there and read really scary stories about people's trauma or their worst nightmares, or a little bit of both.
Yeah, Kimberly, I am. I think I'm coming down with like a little cold or something, unfortunately. I'm sorry about the voice.
No one's going to even care. We do the best we can. I don't know how many times I recorded with a really bad cold and just like, oh my god, I sound so bad.
Luckily, I'm a couple weeks ahead with, well, a week and a half ahead with recording. So if I do come down with something, I've got a little bit of a buffer there
Exactly.
where I can take a break if I need to.
See, this is why you need buffers. Buffers are helpful.
Buffers are always helpful. However, I don't like losing that buffer either.
Yes, it's true. I get that. I totally get that. But if you have to, you have to. That's what the whole point of the buffer is for, right?
Absolutely.
It's a catch-22. It's like, I don't want to use it, but it's there because I might need to use it.
For sure. So I found out the other day.
Mhm.
So it used to be where Rumble, you could. This is totally off topic,
Mhm.
but I've just got to air my grievance somewhere. It used to be where Rumble would automatically, you could set it up where it would automatically upload your videos to Rumble whenever you upload them to YouTube.
Mhm.
And they took that feature away, and now it makes me sad.
Really?
Now it's the opposite. Now you have to upload it to Rumble, and it'll automatically upload it to YouTube. But I don't want to do that because YouTube's my main platform, and I've got members over here that get early content, and I couldn't do that to them.
Yeah. So it'd be better
So-
just to upload to YouTube and Rumble then.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the time. I don't have the. I don't have. It's not the time because I could do them at the same time. I don't have the brain power to do both sometimes. So now I just let my Rumble went to the wayside, unfortunately.
Fair. I know every time I post a video, I'm like, okay, where am I posting that I post a video? Okay, Twitter, Reddit,
I gave up on even doing that. I can't even post to my Twitter Instagram anymore, like that I've posted a video because I always forget to do it.
I luckily, but I have to. If I don't, I've seen what happens when I don't. I just get no views. So.
Yeah.
But I'm a very, very small channel, so. MEB.
I would probably get a lot more if I did.
There is stuff you can set up to do it. I just don't know how to. Otherwise, I would do it.
I'm gonna figure that out.
I think there's like platforms and things that you can pay for. I'm pretty sure it's not free.
Googling.
Use your Google Foo. That's what we call it in my household. Google Foo when you look up things.
Or, as President George Bush used to say, gotta find it on the Google.
I've heard that too many times. Gotta find it on the Google. Alright, did you want to read the next story?
Absolutely.
And which one did you get? Paranormal or creepy encounter?
I got... Can't remember. Creepy encounter.
Okay.
Alrighty, here we go. I got into a weird situation. What would you have done? Hi, everyone. So I'm 33 now, but when I was 20, I was pretty oblivious to dangerous situations. I grew up pretty sheltered and knew to say no to drugs. One night, I was at my friend's party, and a guy from a halfway across the street crashed the party. I had no clue what halfway houses were. My friend thought that he was my friend, and I thought that he was her friend. The guy and I got along pretty well, and ended up casually dating for a little bit. He ended up being kicked out of the halfway house and moved in with his friend. One day, the friend asked if he could get a ride, and I said sure, not knowing that bad things were to come. He asked me to go to a check cashing store a mile away, which was fine. After we got there, we went to a gas station per his request. When we got there, he got out of the car to speak to a guy in an old rusty truck. When he got back in the car, he asked me to follow the truck. At this point, I thought it was weird. We got to a fast food joint, and the friend left my car again. I asked the guy that I was dating what the heck was going on, and he said, "Oh, he's just buying drugs. The truck guy's girlfriend will come in your car as collateral while he's going to get in there." I should have said heck no and driven off. But again, I was an oblivious 20-year-old. A lady who looked like she was on crack got in the car and started telling us about her 5 kids. This whole time, I was wondering what the heck I just got myself into. And now, terrified of the friend, as he seemed to be getting angry and on edge. Thankfully, the guy came back. The lady left and I drove them home. I got out of there very fast and pretty much never saw either of those guys again. What would you have done in this situation?
Drove away while the guy was getting drugs, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want to be
definitely.
part of that.
The problem is then you're kind of kidnapping at that point because you'd be taking the other chick with you.
Well, no, I meant before she even gets into your vehicle.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
No, just get out of there. Just leave. And it's okay, Miss Interscare. Life always comes first. First in everything else in the world. Oop. Okay. I thought I hit something. I was like, don't fall. Anything falling? No, okay, we're good.
So I'm looking up this automatic thing now. And it looks way too difficult for me.
Well, I'm trying. You're the one who does live streams. See, there's the other Streamlabs right now. The other one I told you about.
Nice. Hit that like button.
And make sure
Good.
it feels it. That's my catchphrase.
Goodbye. I always like Mr. Ballin's like reminders. He's always like, I don't know, do the worst things in the world. The YouTube play button, the YouTube or the like button. It is hilarious. It's
I've
like,
heard stuff
remember, take the like button out on a date and then leave at the last minute so that it's stuck with the whole bill.
Make sure you go to the bathroom and just poof. I've heard of people doing that stuff. I don't think I ever could. I'm too Canadian. Unless, of course, the guy was a creep. To be fair, I'm not in the dating pool whatsoever, but jeez. If the guy was a creep, yeah, but I'm going out that window. Find the window, get out the window, go somewhere that was away from the creep.
Yeah. Leave. Bye.
I've read too many creepy encounters and let's not meet stories to even play that game anymore.
Yep. Absolutely.
Huh, I read this story already. I'm going to change the ending. Oh, apparently Evil Outcast took the like button out for a coffee date and they never called them back. It's because the phone got taken away from them. The subscribe button's not allowed. The like button's not allowed anymore. Not allowed the phone anymore. It's causing too much troubles.
So I think I found one that's a little bit easier. You just connect your social accounts and it'll do it.
Ooh, there you go. You should send that to me after. So that way
will.
I will have less bandwidth to do my own shit.
It's acting like it's free too.
Ooh, that's even better. I do like free things. Kimberly, I always hit the like button before I hit play, and I hit it with a sledgehammer, so it does feel it. She hits the button and makes sure it feels it. Perfect. You're doing exactly what I tell you to, Kimberly.
And it's set up.
And it's free.
It's free for the first 50 items per month. And then if you're posting more than 50 items per month, then you have to pay for it. However, I don't think I post more than 50 times a month, so we're good.
If it doesn't do my shorts, I'd be fine. But I don't want to blast my shorts. That'd be something every day. I'm good on that one. No. The shorts I'm only like blasting once a month, beginning of the month, to remind people that I have them. But most people who watch my shorts already get them in their feeds, which is funny because I have a writer that I use and I send him the link. He's like, oh yeah, I already watched that. YouTube sent it to me. I was like, oh, YouTube actually sent it to you? That's a miracle.
I tried doing shorts for a while, but they ended up not taking off for me. So
They're a lot of work, and you have to find what you like. I just really like doing the 2 sentences. So
yeah,
and then I use those 2 sentences in my long form videos, so it works out.
Oh, that's good.
I've been doing that for 3 years now. Every year when I get to 365, which will be 366 this year, I'm always like, and another year's done. 1. January 1st, 1. I always restart at the beginning of the year. I think it's to make sure that I didn't miss any throughout the year. It's just a check balance thing. Alright, I'll do a paranormal story.
Alrighty.
And just to warn you guys, I'm not pre-reading these things, so if they're terrible, I'm sorry. Near-Death Experience and the Paranormal by Encyclopedia Green. Hey everyone. Well, I am new to this community. I'm not new to all the Reddit nor the high strangeness. I have recently begun trying to research collections. No. Something in the paranormal experience. And those of us who have had near-death experiences. If anyone shares... Hold on. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so it is one. It's not someone just asking for it. Okay, good. If anyone cares to share their experience, I'd love to hear how your near-death experience occurred and then the types of phenomena you have experienced since. My near-death experience occurred when I OD'd after about a decade of being a functioning addict. I had a job, paid my bills, dated girls, etc. From the outside looking in, nobody had a clue that I was horribly addicted to opioids. I justified it in my own head because I do, after 17 years of football career, had some very real and very painful ailments, along with some pretty severe depression that I didn't realize was a large part because of my addiction. That was how I got hooked in the first place. It's a long story that I'd rather not concentrate on at this point. If anyone has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. My paranormal experience did not start with my near-death experience. I grew up having weird experiences that I would never, as a rational science mind person, allow myself to conclude that something sincerely paranormal had occurred. It was only after my near-death that these experiences became so much more intense that I now know that these things are real and actually happening to me. I have witnessed orbs, UFOs, shadow people, only way I can describe them, and objects moving on their own. I have experienced psychics that have told me that they have shook me to the core. I have been pulled out of bed multiple times and even put back in my bed on one occasion. Then after this occurred, I experienced complete memory loss about it for 2 weeks later when it happened again. This is not everything. I could go on, but I'm sure you'll get the point. If you have any questions, feel free, and I will do my best to answer them for you. I expect people to be highly skeptical of these claims, and I don't blame you. I wouldn't believe it either. I have questioned my own sanity on more than one occasion. But luckily, and unluckily, most experiences, I usually have had someone with me or around me when they have happened to confirm my experiences did actually happen. I come here to try and talk about this because I expect this place to be a safe place to discuss this type of topic. Please be respectful of questions to anyone that shares, and to people sharing. Please do not get upset/defensive when people ask you questions and or are skeptical. And that's that. Wasn't exactly what I thought it was, but
it was a good story nonetheless.
I couldn't help but laugh. Just the picture being pulled out of your bed and then being pushed back into your bed. Just like, no, never mind. I couldn't help myself from laughing because what went through my mind mentally with that. Just my least favorite thing, I don't remember if it was a horror movie that I saw it or something, but I remember like the covers being pulled off someone. I was like, this is just so rude. I don't know where my brain goes to that, but it's just like, that's what went through my mind. Getting covers pulled off, then you get pulled off, and then you get pushed back in the bed, and the covers come back on. It's just like, okay. Is the tantrum over yet? Okay.
Come on, man. Don't do this to me. It's like, chill, Grandma Rose.
Grandma, it's fine. It's 3 a.m. I need to sleep.
Sleep is for cowards.
Yeah, well, you died and you can sleep. Fuck off.
That's hilarious. You'll get sleep when you're dead. Trust me.
No, apparently I can't. You're still awake.
No, I'm just sleepwalking. That's hilarious. I actually did have a Grandma Rose, which makes it even more funny.
Neither one of my grandmas is named Rose, and neither one of them are dead. Both my grandmas are alive. All four of my grandpas are dead, though.
Well, my Grandma Rose was actually a great grandma, so. Yeah.
Fair.
She was my grandma's mother.
She's moms. It's a lot of moms. Actually, I knew one of my great grandmothers, but she passed away quite a few years ago. But I could not tell you what her name is. I could not remember. I met her a handful of times throughout my life, so.
I feel like Rose, though, is just a very great grandma name to have.
Rose is just a very common name, like Mary. It's just, There's so many Roses, so many Marys. He always says Grandma Rose haunts our house. Does Grandma Rose? I do,
and it freaks her out, too. It is hilarious how scared she gets sometimes. Because, like, we'll hear, like, a random noise, right? We live in an old house.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of an old house. So, like, it creaks and stuff every once in a while. And every time it does, I'm like, oh, there's Grandma Rose. And she's like, stop it.
Stop it. No. My house is actually fairly older, too. And, yeah, she makes noises every once in a while. I just assume either the house is settling or someone moved. Because there's so many of us in this house. But, I mean, my least favorite thing is coming out and finding something that fell. And then I just look at the cat, and the cat's like, totally wasn't me. And like, yeah, it totally was you.
We have security cameras.
Oh, aren't you fancy? I don't have that.
Well, we got cheap security cameras, I should say.
At least not on the inside.
But, they're, like, night vision.
Oh.
And I threw a bunch of, like, dust particles into the air one time, and I saved the video recording, and I showed Wifey, and I was like, do you see all those orbs that our camera is capturing in our house? She was so freaked out. It's so funny.
Yeah, they're orbs of dust. That's the problem with, like, all that stuff. It's just like, yeah, well, how dusty is your house? Like, there's dust in the house, so.
Yeah, our house isn't dusty. I went, it wasn't actual dust particles. It was like something like small like that, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, something that reflect the light a little bit. Plus, everything looks so weird in those night vision cameras. Like, everything looks odd.
Yeah, it does.
Especially you, just like your eyes. You're like, cat's eyes. Oh my god.
Yeah, deer eyes. Deer look freaky in night vision.
Ugh.
It is insane how freaky they look sometimes on
like
trail
that.
cams and stuff.
Sorry, something just dropped the house. Like that.
I remember one time, I was in the Army, right? And I was staying in a hotel with another Army friend of mine because him and I had to go do something. The Army put us in a hotel, whatever. And I was live streaming at the time, and it was a different YouTube channel, one that I don't do now or anything. But I was live streaming at the time, and the curtain, it was a horror channel still. So like I already had him freaked out because I was talking about horror and stuff on the live stream. And the curtain fell in our hotel room because it was a really crappy hotel room. Dude ran out of the room and slept in the car that night.
I'm done. I'm out. See ya. Bye.
He did, man. It was hilarious.
You can see the stream of fire behind him because he was running so fast.
Pretty much.
I mean, I can get that. I remember more than once being, like, in the middle, like, talking about scary stuff, and then something happened. She's like, I'm done, bye! See ya! I'm out of here. We get the Bible, just start blessing this place.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
Ugh, yeah, I remember many times as a kid, like, telling scary stories to each other, and like something weird would just happen. We all like jump and like get freaked out. And now, like, looking back, it probably was just something dropping that just scared us. But it's like, at the time, it's just like, it's so scary. Nowadays, I'm like, okay, what was that noise? I'm gonna go find it instead of I'm gonna run away.
Yeah, it's like let's go find. Yeah, people like us would be the first ones to die in a horror movie.
What was that? What was that noise? I gotta go downstairs in the garage or downstairs in the basement, find out what it is. Oh God, there's a murderer down here. He's killing me. No, really, he is. Why are you screaming? I read horror for life. This is not that scary.
You killed Kenny.
You bastards. Watched that way too many times. My sister had the very first season, All the Ways That Kenny Died, as a poster. That was a poster you could buy, and it was just they killed him so many different ways, and there was like a whole episode, I think like season 3, they didn't kill him, and everyone was just like waiting for Kenny to die, and he doesn't, and we're like, huh, this is weird.
You didn't kill Kenny.
They didn't kill
You
Kenny
bastard.
one time. Yeah, it was like it was so many close calls to that episode. And that was of course on purpose, but it was
Yeah.
just like you're waiting for Kenny to die because he always dies, and he didn't. I don't know if they still do that anymore. And
I don't know.
Probably
I
not.
haven't seen Kenny die in a long time. Actually.
I haven't watched South Park in so many years. I haven't watched it. I don't even remember the last time I watched it.
I haven't watched it in a while. Probably last time I watched it was probably a year or two ago.
And Sydney used to be a fanatic for South Park, but she doesn't watch it anymore either. It's just, it's
Well,
the same.
it used to not be so political either.
Yeah, and now it's got like there was hints here and there, but now
Yeah.
it's gotten like full throttle. My favorite thing I learned recently was when they did the Scientology episode.
Yeah.
They started getting spied on by Scientology.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And just,
Scientology, man, they are crazy. Like what they'll do. I'm not saying the people are crazy. Like you do what you want. I'm saying like the like Scientology as a whole.
it's
Like
the doctrine.
it's crazy. It's crazy what they'll do.
Yep.
Though to people anyone who speaks out about them.
Yep, it's because it's part of their doctrine.
It's
Anyone who speaks out
scary.
is fair game, which means they literally can lie, cheat, steal, whatever they need to bring you down, which is really scary.
Yeah.
And then South Park did that, and they apparently couldn't find anything on them. It's just like, huh, well,
Yeah, they really could. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, I feel like Trey Parker and Matt Stone, though. I feel like even if they did find something on them, they'd be like, so.
whatever. Well, and they've been doing South Park since they were like young adults. I think they were in their early 20s when they started doing South
Yeah.
Park.
Have you ever seen their Broadway musical, The Book of Mormon?
Was that them?
Yeah, that was them.
I
that made
haven't
that.
seen it, but I have heard of it, and I have heard
It
what's
is-
in it, and I laugh my ass off going, yeah, you're not wrong.
It is so funny. It is so funny.
I mean, the religion is funny. Not in case anyone's a Mormon here, but
Well, opening night of that show. This is like I'm going to show you the difference between, like Scientology versus like Mormonism, right? Scientology, they went after Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
yep.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone made the Book of Mormon. The Mormon leader, the leader of the Mormon Church,
Hmm.
went to opening night and loved it.
Yep.
Loved the show.
The prophet, not prophet, it's poppet. They say it really weird. It's not prophet, but it's like, it's very close to that word. It's supposed to be prophet, but they don't say it quite right. Because they have living prophets, and that's who's the leader is the living prophet. I know way too much about Mormons and Scientology and all that stuff. I've done a lot of research for reasons.
Yeah, I don't know that much about it. I just know that Mormons are pretty chill ass people.
For the most part, yeah. They don't, as long as you leave them alone, they don't care. Their doctrine is very different than Scientologists is. But they also, the Scientology came out of a really weird decade. Because it was made in the 60s? 60s and 70s, I think is when it came around. And I mean 1960, 1970.
That sounds about right.
And
right around the LSD movement.
Yeah. Yeah, it was another wave of it was during the new wave religious or whatever, when you can never say the word right. The TV guys came out.
Oh, the televangelists?
Yes. It was around about that time when this came out. It was like another wave. They have like all these like different names for them, for different waves. Mormon came out during one wave, and then evangelicals came out the another wave. And they think there's a wave coming again, possibly, but they're not sure. It's all about unstable. When the world gets unstable, there's always this wave of religion that comes through, because it's just how humanity works.
Yep.
It's just
you need something to rely on whenever you can't rely on anything else.
Well, and not just explaining the world. Like, people just want something that explains things, that makes it easy for them, and I get that in a complete, like, basic level. Just want someone to go, this is right, this is wrong, and just take the thinking out of your head. I completely get wanting to do that, but it doesn't really work properly when you do that. Alright, did you want to do, I did the last story, yes. Did you want to do a fictional or a paranormal story?
I can do paranormal. I actually got 2 pulled up here because they're both really, really short.
Okay, go ahead and do them, and I'll find a fictional story.
Alrighty. The last story that I posted was of a more recent event. This next one was when I was little, around 12 years old. I lived at my grandpa's house, and I get really bad migraines started since I was a child. Well, on this day, I had a very bad migraine. I felt like I was going to die. So I was laying in my bed praying, and just in my head asking my head to stop hurting. And all of a sudden I felt a hand touch my thigh, as if everything was okay. Well, that wasn't okay with me. I got up and ran straight out of that room. The next time I was touched was in that same room. I was on the floor praying at my bedside, and a hand touched my shoulder and again freaked me out. I was so scared and asked not to be touched. This might seem odd, but all of my encounters started when I was wrapped up in religion, and I just don't think about that stuff anymore because it freaks me out. Has anyone else been touched by a ghost before? What do you think of this? And story number 2. So my family and I went to Las Vegas for a family trip, and Zach's Museum was one of our planned, scheduled events. As me and my mom have been huge fans since when they first started, but I digress. In one of the rooms called the Freak Show Room, we got VIP. RIP is what they actually called it. There was a wagon, they said, that they recently added and had put a small window from what looked like it was beneath the stairs with blue lighting. As I put my head inside the window, I ask, "Is there anyone here?" I did hear small chatter as it was very quiet, but I was unsure if it was those above talking or behind me, and tell my family if I'm just hearing but letting them know. However, as I was going back in to look one more time, I see what looked like blondish hair go from behind the beams of the stairs, and I immediately get frightened and jump back. As I'm frightened and shocked, I told the tour guide / freaky guy, sorry dude, that I didn't know if I saw hair or if it was the glare on my glasses. He then tells me to calm down and asks what I saw. He asked me what the length of the person's hair was, and I told him the length. And he told me that I saw what everyone else had been seeing, as they wanted to make sure that I'm not just BSing. Sorry for the long story. I just wanted to share my experience, as that was the first time I've ever seen that, as I have dealt with unexplained shadows, objects falling off in the past, chatter, and feeling watched. How do you guys feel? It always confuses me when they say sorry for the long post,
And it's
but the
super
post is
short.
like 3 sentences long.
I know. I've gotten that so many times. Like, it's not 10 minutes. It's not that long. And sometimes a long post, if the detail's there and you need it, whatever, do it. Do what you need to tell your story in the best way you can. I think I've seen that in a story that was like 2 minutes long for reading. I'm like, this is not a long post. This is tiny.
Yeah.
I could eat this.
Like I literally pulled yours up on a live stream with another one just because it was so short.
Evil Outcast. How was that long?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's funny when people do that. It's like, okay, well, I'll show you what a long story is. But then again, we don't know how many times I like deleted things and then rewrote things and deleted things so that in their mind it was long. But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I've read stories that are like, if you probably put them into PDF form, they'd probably be like 4 or 5 pages long. Like, that's a long story.
yeah, yeah. I do mine in minutes in my head. So if anything over 10 minutes is about a medium-sized story, anything over 20 is a long story. That's how it kind of works in my brain. I have read actually a couple like stories that are true stories that have been that long, and it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah, for me, anything above about 10 minutes is long for me too. Yeah.
yeah. Especially when it's true stories. It's fictionals. Fictionals like 20 minutes is it's starting to
Yeah,
get
for
there.
sure.
I've only ever done one that was an hour long, and I had to split it up into two videos. I tried, but I was like, there's no way we're gonna get this ready before the video needs to be alive. So this is the perfect spot to cut it right here.
Excuse me.
Take care, Kimberly. Stay safe. She got
Have a good one, Kimberly.
She's gonna listen to us with the ear pod. Say nothing. Just listen to the craziness. That's what I would do.
Right.
Alright, I have a story pulled up as well. Mine's a fictional one, though.
Alrighty.
Missing Girl by... I don't know. Sorry, guys. Missing Girl. June 15th, 1987. Starling City, California. A spokesperson for the Starling City Police Department admitted this week that there were no promising leads in the case of the 8-year-old Katarina Elkins, who was missing from her home Thursday night. It's like she disappeared into thin airs, said neighbors and family friends. Macbeth said neighbor and family friend Mary Beth. Police were called to the residence at 6:30 a.m. on Friday morning by Catherine's father, David. He realized Catherine was missing when he went to her bedroom to wake her for school and discovered that she was not in her bed. The only possible witness was the victim's sister, 10-year-old Alice, with whom Catherine shared a bedroom. Alice has been unable to provide any details to investigators, however. It seems like the girl suffers from an overactive imagination, says Sergeant William. She told us last night she saw her sister went through the window where she was hugging a tall man. According to the witness statement, over the past several weeks, a man has been coming to the girl's bedroom window at night, where he would tap on the glass, make faces, and watch the girls. Police investigators initially dismissed the accounts as a dream, as the bedroom window is on the second story, and with with no support beneath it. Alice reports that on the night that her sister disappeared, there was again a waking by tapping at the glass, Sargent explained. She heard her sister get out of bed and have a short conversation. When she didn't hear her sister get back in bed after several minutes, she got up and went to the window where she saw her sister in the side yard, hugging the tall man. According to the witness, the man looked up at her, grinned, and indicated that she was to come down as well, with a shaky arm. It was at that point Miss Elkins became extremely frightened and returned to bed. The tapping continued for some minutes, but finally ceased. Police scoured the Elkins yard for clues, with no success. When asked why Alice had not told her parents about the tall man before, she explained, "He scared me. He told us not to tell Mom and Dad, or we'd be in trouble. He told us that he was our friend, and that he would give us anything we wanted, but we had to keep his secret. His smile was scary, and his voice. He said nice things, but he sounded mean." Police believe that there are no links between the disappearance and the vicious killings of the Elkins cat by disembowelment in April. I'm gonna go with that Slender Man. I'm not sure who the tall, skinny man is, but don't take tapping on the windows.
It's creepy, all right.
Yes. That won't actually be fun to read on the channel with all the little voices I could do with it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
September absolutely hates my child voice. He's like, "Your child voice is so creepy." I'm like, "Yes, thank you. I try." Trying to make it creepy. I literally just hit random. I was like, "Yeah, that looks like a good sized story. I don't know what this is about." Okay, Kimberly's gone now. Bye, Kimberly. She's gonna go hide. Alright. Yeah, no, I don't hate it. I love how creepy it is. Haha, I got him to come out of the woodworks. It's the second thing he's ever said. Or maybe third. I think he said one other thing earlier. I have to be really careful because I've actually hurt my voice once doing the kid's voice. But I did too high. You gotta be a nice middle ground, otherwise you hurt yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I don't do voices anymore, but man, can they kill your voice when you do them?
The guy's one is because I have to like suppress my vocal cords to get a guy's voice out. Yeah. That one can hurt me a few times. That one hurts me more than the kid's voice has. I tried my best not to go too long with a voice.
Yeah.
But even when I'm telling stories, like true ones, I still try to do voices so you can tell when like one person's talking and another person's talking.
Oh yeah, for sure. I change my inflection slightly. Is what I do, but the reason I do that too instead of doing voices is because I feel like if like I'm talking here and then I have a kid's voice, it's really gonna wake someone up from their sleep.
Like, what the fuck was that? Fair. No, I literally my sleep channel just gets everything that Reeds gets. It's just the music in the background's different.
Yeah.
But I don't do terrible amounts of difference anyway, so the only thing I do is when I'm talking I have a specific thing that adds, so it like adds a little echo to it and like boosts the bass just a little bit, so it just sounds a little different, so you can tell it's someone actually talking instead of the narration of it. I find that it just
Oh yeah.
it makes it easier to tell from like just half listening what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, I just the voices are the fun part for me. You'd be like fabulous and do stupid
I'm
stuff.
just not good at them.
Oh, I'm not the greatest either. I just have fun at it. I have a friend who she's done voices like her whole life, and she blows me out of the water every time she does voices. Though have you ever heard the comedian Fluffy?
Yes, Gabriel Iglesias.
Yes, I love him going through the drive-thru with that female voice that he does.
Yes. Yes.
And then just people are like, where did you come from? Where's the woman?
Yeah, it's so funny. I love his stand-up. His stand-up is so good.
Oh, he's hilarious. I love him. It's sad that him and his wife are getting divorced, but at least he's like the son isn't getting like cut off or anything. Like he's flat out said that's his son, even though biologically speaking that's not his. Because not every guy will do that. Not every woman would do that even.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's actually your child, but even though I raised it, it's just like, no, he's my son.
Absolutely. And that I definitely that earned my respect for sure.
Yes. Yeah, things aren't working out between them, but that doesn't mean that the son should be punished because of that, basically.
Ostracized, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got nothing to do with it. He also he tries not to talk about them, even, like, for the last little while, because I think they've both kind of said that they don't want him talking about it as much with his stand-up.
Yeah.
But the problem is, the whole point of being a comedian is you take your stories from your life and make them funny, and half your life would be with your wife and your kids, so
Yeah.
it does make it difficult. Apparently September is here to just enjoy the stream and watch the chat. He's lurking, is what he's saying. Yeah. No, we watched like the latest special from him a while back, and it just when I heard that I was like, oh, no, they're breaking up. But it's like, but he's still my son. I'm like, okay, heart's a little bit back together, but still somewhat broken.
Yeah.
But I think he also said he stopped drinking too. Was that him or was that someone else I'm thinking of?
I think Bert Kreischer is stopping.
Yeah, I can't remember it anymore. I watched so many different comedians that it's just, and that's like alcohol is like one of the first things that gets abused really easily.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's readily available. It's depressor, so it makes you like tired and sleepy, and socially drinking, like bringing out a bottle of booze doesn't get you the same look as pulling out even a joint would. But
yeah,
so I can see why that gets abused more than the rest of the drugs, because it's so easy to get your hands on. No one looks at you twice unless it's like 10 in the morning and you're drinking. Then you get weird looks. But yeah, I've heard of too many actors and comedians that's the problem. They've been drinking too much. So, and I mean, not just famous people too. Which is why I don't drink at all. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I think the last time I had alcohol was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't drink at all anymore.
Yeah. And I'm one of those people who actually says it doesn't taste good. I've never enjoyed the taste of alcohol.
See, my problem was I loved the taste.
Yeah, there you
I loved a good Jack and Coke. That was the hardest thing for me to quit, was Jack and Coke.
You ruined the Coke. I'll have the Coke. You can have the Jack. I think the only things I ever liked were Paralyzer. I there was a certain wine that was made out of cherries that was really good. And like that's the only two things I can ever think of that I actually liked the taste of the alcohol in it, because the alcohol actually got hidden.
Yeah. Oh, another thing that I really liked was moonshine pickles.
Oh my god. Oh my
Those were
god.
so good.
Oh, what? I've heard moonshine
Those-
cherries.
See, I didn't like the cherries, but I
Ooh.
loved the pickles.
I couldn't imagine. September says he's been sober for 14 years. Nice. That's awesome.
That
That's
is
really
awesome.
good. Make it 20. Make it 30. Make it 50. Make it as long as you can. Yeah. I've heard of people like when they stop and it was a social thing they've always done, trying to get off of it can be difficult. And I have the biggest thing of hitting things on my desk. If someone says like you go out to drink or whatever and they say, you know, you want to drink and they say no, that's the end of it. Don't ask any more questions. Let it be from there. Because the problem is people will do that, like, oh, why? It's just a drink. It's like, you don't know if they have a substance abuse problem. You don't know if they can't drink at all and they just don't want to get into it. Because some people actually can't break down alcohol. Like, if you have type 1 type diabetes, you can't have it at all. And I think if your type 2 gets really bad, you can't have it either. So all those things, 42 hitting the desk again, lol. It wasn't my desk, it was my computer, but yeah, stupid things. But yeah, so it's just like the biggest thing of like when someone tells you no, don't ask any more. If they want to elaborate, they will, because sometimes it's just not comfortable talking about that stuff. I've had more than once when I was like in my early 20s, people are like, oh, you want a drink? I'm like, no. And they're like, why? I'm like, because I don't want to have a drink. Like, I don't want to get into the fact that, you know, alcohol doesn't taste really good, and I don't really like the idea of drinking and going on all those things. Just like, let it be. Just, I don't want to drink. That's the end of it. But of course, you're in your 20s, so everyone wants a freaking drink. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't put myself in situations, you know, where people are even gonna ask me.
Fair. Oh, I've had my parents ask me a few times.
Yeah.
Apparently, Sydney used to be a big drinker, but now it bothers her acid reflux. Yeah, I could see that. That's something I got to keep an eye out too. That runs in my family. Bad acid reflux. It feels like your heart's on fire. And everything else with it. Sucks. Heartburn sucks. That's why I don't like pizza anymore. Every time I get pizza, I get heartburn. Every time. I think I've only found one place that doesn't give it to me. And it's too expensive. They're expensive pizza.
Everything's getting expensive nowadays.
I know. So we got McDonald's for dinner tonight. And McDonald's used to be the place you go to because you had like $5 in your pocket and you needed a meal. It's not like that anymore. You might as well go to Wendy's or Burger King or any of the other fast food joints because they're all the same. And they used to, like, McDonald's was the bare cheapest. And now it's like the same as everyone else. It's like, why would I go to McDonald's? I only went there because they had the McRib and I wanted to try it again. I mean, pizza is worth the reflux. It depends on the pizza. I've had a couple pizzas that have been worth the reflux, but for the most part, no. I'm very picky on my pizzas. Always have been. Can't eat the pepperoni. Can't do it. I do not like pepperoni.
See, I love me a good stuffed crust meat lover pizza.
So I love the stuffed crust, but it has to be ham and pineapple. That's the only pizza I like, except for there used to be a place here that used to make taco pizza, but they don't make it anymore. And there was like this seafood pizza I really liked, but no one makes them anymore, so it's gotta be ham pineapple, because I can eat the ham and the pineapple. The rest of those meats, my body can't digest them properly, for whatever reason. Pizza gives me heartburn too. Apparently pizza gives heartburn to everyone. Be careful. It might give you heartburn too if you're not careful. One day you'll be too old and then you'll eat a piece of pizza and I'll give you a heartburn. I'm like, no! She gave me the heartburn! You'll just scream my name. It's all my fault.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mention that, but last time our family had pizza, every one of us got food poisoning.
Oh no. Was it a local joint or was it a chain?
It was Pizza Hut.
Oh Jesus. Well, I wasn't gonna name names if you didn't want to name names, but
Oh, I don't care. I don't care to name names.
oof. Yeah, no, that would be one, a good reason not to have pizza, two, a really good reason not to have that specific pizza. I don't think I've ever had Pizza Hut.
Problem is, that's my favorite too. They got the
Is
stuffed
it?
crust meat lover, and it's so good.
Maybe get from a different Pizza Hut. Just don't go to that Pizza Hut if you have more than one in your place.
Right.
That is weird. Normally they're a lot like pickier at chains, but then again, there's just been cross contaminations. All it takes.
Yeah. Just the smallest thing.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things. I've worked in kitchens a lot, and I know how easy it is to cross-contaminate if you're not paying attention. And pizzas don't, like, they cook, but they don't... Most of the meat's, like, finished already by the time it gets on the pizza, so... I don't know if it gets a high enough temperature to kill all the stuff, and then the food could have went off, too, and they didn't realize it.
Yeah.
There's a list of things that could have went wrong. Here, hold on, let me pull out the list. Just kidding.
Use the Google.
Don't need to use the Google, I can just say it off my mind. When I was in high school, we had to learn food safe. It was it was an absolute requirement so I could cook there. And to this day, my husband hates it, but any leftovers that's more than 2 days old goes in the garbage. He's like, no, it's perfectly fine. I'm like, it's 2 days old, it's going in the garbage. He's like, but it was perfectly fine. It didn't smell. I'm like, nope, because I won't risk food poisoning.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely the smart thing to do because food poisoning sucks.
Yeah, it does. I've only gotten mild, and every time I'm just not wanting to live. And it can be deadly still if it gets bad enough.
Yeah.
Apparently,
so bad. Our 2-year-old was sick with it too. So sad.
And they don't understand that. Why don't I feel well? I'm sorry, it was the food that we gave you. Why was the food no good? I don't know. Why'd you do this to me?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Apparently, Evil Outcast prefers mom and pop places. And apparently, September Dragon Audio got poisoning from Taco Bell once. And I'm just wondering, was it just the Taco Bell? I've heard horror stories of Taco Bell in general. Like, I've never had the problem with the Taco Bell before. But then again, Canada Taco Bell is different than the US Taco Bell. 100%. Weirdly enough...
Taco Bell has the best nacho fries, though, in the world.
See, we don't get... So, they have Fry Supreme here. We don't have the same thing. And it's got, like, sour cream, like a bunch of different things on it. I can't name everything. And then when I went down to the States, they didn't have that. I was like, where's my Surprise Supreme? And I was like, my husband's like, they don't have that here. I'm like, you guys suck.
That sounds like the Nachos Bel Grande that we have here.
Probably. It's probably something, but yeah. You can get it instead of normal fries, because most most Taco Bells here are Taco Bell KFC crossovers. So they don't have like the chips normally, they have fries. They do sometimes do the
Oh,
chips,
gotcha.
but not very often. It's a little bit different up here, and I can tell you it does taste different between the States and Canada. There's a complete difference between the two. Taco Bell in the States actually tastes better, weirdly enough.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah. I never liked Taco Bell too much in Canada. I get once in a blue moon up here, but every time I go to the States, I'm like, Taco Bell, Taco Bell. Because it's better. And everyone's like, what do you mean it's better? I'm like, it's better, and it's better than it is in Canada, trust me. I've only found one good Taco Bell in Canada, and that's because it's a standalone, and it happens to be in a mall. And it's probably because it's a standalone. Evil Outcast, your first mistake was going to Taco Bell. September, I still like Taco Bell food.
Taco Bell's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. We don't have the Diablo sauce here, though, and it's so disappointing. I really want to get that Diablo sauce here. Unless they got rid in the States, too. I don't like spicy, but my husband absolutely loves spicy, and he loves the Diablo sauce. Every time we go there, he gets as many as he can. He just fills up as much as he can. We're all out now. We have him for a long time. And I tried to see if I can find it, but I can't. Alright, was it your turn or my turn to read? I can't remember.
I think you read the last one. I can read the next one.
Okay.
Alrighty, I have another paranormal story.
Perfect.
This one is about a spooky bathroom.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Here's a couple of encounters that I've had in my bathroom that I will never ever shower in ever again. I always feel as if something is in this bathroom. It's down the hall from my room. I can see it from my bed. This is the first bathroom. My other bathroom is in my room, and I've had no issues with it. So here it goes. One night I was showering in there, and I was closing my eyes washing shampoo out of my hair when I heard my name being called, and I thought it was my husband calling me from the living room. I started yelling from the shower. He didn't respond. Then I continued to shower. Well, the next time I closed my eyes, this calling was very close to my ear and more of a whisper, and I was very scared and freaked out. I got out immediately, and I went to ask my husband if he had been calling me. He had his headphones on playing games on his computer, saying that he wasn't calling me at all, and never heard me calling for him either. I've never heard anything calling my name, or even talking, so that was the first out of all of the experiences that I've had, and I'll never shower in there again. The second thing that occurred in there was my daughter was showering, and had the door open, and like I said, I can see the bathroom from my bed, which is where I was sitting. All of a sudden, I start seeing the light dim, and the door just slams. And you have to close that door pretty hard to shut it all the way, because there's a rack to hang clothes on it. It slammed so hard that it knocked the towel holder off the wall, falling and closing the light off my daughter. Closing the light off. My daughter was screaming. I ran to the door and couldn't open it, as if it was locked. That was the most disturbing occurrence in that bathroom. My daughter was shaking, and I finished washing her up and got her the heck out of there. I've also seen a shadow figure during the day go into that bathroom, which is just off-putting to say the least. What do you guys think about this?
It's weird that it's specifically bathrooms.
Right?
Did someone die in the bathroom? Sorry, Cindy, my phone was dinging and I couldn't find it. I was sitting on it. I've done that. I have a thing where I can page my phone so I can find it, because I have more than once lost my phone. And my least favorite is, like, it's right next to me. I'm like, God damn it, why couldn't I see that? It was right next to me. God damn it. Every time. Not every time, but just every time that happens. I'd say I need glasses, but I do wear glasses. Excuse me. Why did I say that? You guys didn't hear me. I muted it. I'm an idiot. Sorry. I'll see myself out. Alright. So I'm gonna end the poll. We did mostly do paranormal stories. So. Definitely seemed to be the choice of the day. Alright, so I'm gonna do 2 Glitch in the Matrix stories because they're both very, very short.
Alrighty.
We watched a plane disappear, but nothing but August. It was daytime around 3 p.m., sunny and clear skies that day. As a frequent passenger, I look out the window and look up to the sky very often. And on this day, we were driving and I was scrolling on my phone, occasionally sky watching. I noticed the plane, too small to see what exact airline, but it was dark blue details, so maybe Delta or American. Flying across the sky as I usually see any other time, and then shift my eyes to continue looking down at my phone. The way this happened so fast is unexplainable. In the very same second I began to shift my eyes from the plane back down to my phone, it literally blinked out of the sky mid-flight. Literally before my eyes fully landing back on my phone, I could see it in the peripherals and saw it just disappear as if I blinked, but I hadn't. I didn't even fully register what happened until my friend also was frantic. She almost fully braked the car in the middle of the street. We were in the residential neighborhood, not on the highway, so we weren't going 40 miles per hour. To ask me if I had just seen that as well. I didn't know she had been occasionally watching the planes go by, so I began looking around, and the sky was completely clear. I even completely stuck my head out the window to verify what we had just seen, and the plane was seriously nowhere to be found. This was just a quick, simple glitch, like click refresh on a web page. The plane just blinked. I don't think I'll ever forget this. It was too wild. I looked at the sky way too often to mistake this for a bird or a bug, or having a witness further solidified this. Well, that was neat. Cell phone teleportation. I work from home. Workspace is in my bedroom. Call volume is low this morning, so I'm watching YouTube on my phone. I have my phone on one of those metal stands you can get from Amazon. My work phone is ringing, so I go to suspend the YouTube video I'm watching by pressing the side power button. But I knock it off the stand because I didn't have a good grip on it. It falls to the floor, and I hear it hit the floor. My eyes track it until it bounces under my rolling desk chair. I frantically search for it with my hands, but can't find it. I'm only allowed 3 rings total on my work phone before it's considered abandoned, and it's not rung twice. I sit up and answer the call. During the call, I keep reaching down and peeking down to find it, but I can't. After the phone call, I get off my chair and look to see where my phone is, but it's not there. I stand up and go on my bed. I stand up, and on my bed is my phone, face down. The edge of the bed is about 2 feet from where I have the edge of my workspace. The phone was another foot or so on the bed from the edge of the bed. I have no idea how it got onto the bed from where it fell. I know I didn't fling it. I felt the thump on the floor when my phone fell. For those interested, because some people like these odd details, during this time I was running defrag on my game PC, which is also near my workspace. Stupid Baynet installer stuck on initializing, waiting for another update with a game that I just manually deleted because it would hang up on the uninstall option as well multiple times, which caused it to be 11% fragmented. Make it the story what you may. I'm just sharing it. Don't know why they shared all about the installer, but there you go.
Yeah, the technical details there were kind of unnecessary, but the story about the phone was good.
Yes. I just read the whole thing. I'm like, I don't think I need to read this. I don't think anyone cares about the fact that your computer's not working properly, because I know how it is. Yeah, I just saw 2 small ones. I'm like, I'll just take these 2 small ones. I read about a phone disappearing, and the woman never found it again. Like, to this, she's like, I had to go get a new phone. I've never found it. And I'm like, that is so weird. It's, like, horrible. Because phones are expensive.
Yeah, they are. I had that happen with a memory card one time, and I still to this day haven't found it.
To be fair, a memory card, like an SD?
No, like a PlayStation 2 memory card.
Oh yeah, I think you told me about that. Yeah, but even those are still fairly small.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, a phone. But to be fair, the phone was actually dead, so she couldn't even like phone it to find it. So, that's just why I never let my phone die, because
right.
knowing my luck, I never find it again because it's black all around. For the most part, I've placed it down, face down, and not be able to find it more than once. It wasn't even your house, was it? Was it your parents' house or grandparents' house?
Grandparents' house, yeah.
Yeah. And they redecorated too, and they never did find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when I say the monsters that eat your socks out of the dryer also ate your memory card. They got extra hungry.
Jerks.
But you said there was nothing on it too, though, right?
Yeah, no, there was nothing on it. It was a brand new memory card right out of the package.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Like it was one of those hard plastic packages.
Yeah. They still put stuff in those, and it's just so stupid. They're so hard to get into.
Yeah, and that's why it went flinging.
Yeah.
Was because
it's one of those hard ones. You're like, eh, and it just like, phew. I remember me as a kid and trying to open those packages, and everything always flew out of them. And you never did find, well, at least most of the time you did find them, but sometimes you didn't find the stuff that came out of those. It's like it never actually existed. Yeah, have you ever seen the products to open those with? So there's like certain cutters and stuff, but they're in that packaging too. So
oh my lord.
So you need to open that package so you can get the package opener. It's just like,
that's so dumb.
It's like, you know why I need to buy you, right? It's so I can open this type of package that you're in already.
Just one last hurrah before you don't
just
have
the
to come anymore.
One last glass shards of ugh. And I remember I watch a few like review like products places, and I remember one of them going, "Why did you do this to us? Why?"
You were supposed to be the chosen one. You were supposed to destroy the dark side, not join them.
Oh, have you heard the theory on that?
I have not.
So the theory is, it's because Obi-Wan trained him. So if Qui-Gon Jinn, the original guy,
Qui-Gon Jinn, yeah,
if he had lived and not died there, Anakin would have stayed light. And it's because Obi-Wan wasn't ready, which we can all agree Obi-Wan wasn't ready. That's why Anakin went dark side. Yeah, no, I've got a random assortment of information in my brain. And I can't even tell you where half of it comes from anymore. It's weirdly cataloged. I just remember hearing that recently. But
That's interesting.
my dad also, when I was growing up, he said, yeah, he did fulfill his promise because he's supposed to bring balance to the Force. Well, 2 dark side and 2 light side is balance.
Yeah.
That is balance. Balance is, you have to have good and bad. You can't have one without the other. Yeah, and Obi-Wan wasn't ready to train it, and when he did it for Qui-Gon to keep his master happy and fulfill his wishes, because truth be told, Anakin needed training either way, because he was powerful no matter what. If they didn't train him, I don't even know what would have happened. It probably would have went even worse somehow.
Yeah.
Because at least he had some hiccups because of it, because he did have a hard time fighting Obi-Wan, and he also did have some goodness still in him. If they never trained him, there's a chance there would be 0 goodness in him, and that was what was able to bring him back to the light side at the end. I've watched the originals way too many times. I haven't watched the rest of them, but my dad's a huge Star Wars fan and Star Trek, that's why I never understood the Star Wars Star Trek like hate thing. I was like, why can't you just like both? Yeah, one is movies, one is TV shows. I mean, it doesn't work that way anymore, but that's kind of what it was for the longest time. There was the odd Star Trek movie, but they were never good. There was the Star Trek shows were always good for the most part.
Yeah.
There'll be no. They can't beat the original. That's because they were trying new things, and now it's just the same stuff hashed over and over again. That's the problem.
Yeah. I agree. The original was the best and always will be.
They could have done so much. Like, they had really good actors for the prequels, but the problem is they let Lucas with too much reign. He's a good visionary. He's not good at writing. So he's good to like have the story, figure out the story, and all the little details, but someone else needs to do the dialogue. Otherwise, we get sand. I hate sand. It's coarse. Like, I get what he was trying to say there, but it was just not very well written.
No, it was worse than not very well written. It was written very terribly.
And we would know. We read for a living.
Yeah.
I've actually noticed that my writing's gotten better, even starting to, like, just narrating stories. I can see more where things can get changed and fixed up better now than before I started this. Not sand, it's rough and coarse. And everyone, like, says that he was such a terrible actor, the guy that played Anakin. He's actually a really good actor. He was a good actor. He is a good actor. I don't think he really does it anymore, but, like, he was, like, there's a few things where he's been in, and that's where a lot of people don't realize that it's all the director that dictates a lot of stuff. So if you don't have a good director, you're going to get a bad performance.
Yeah.
Because even Obi-Wan, the actor who plays him, his acting wasn't very good in that. We all know Obi-Wan's a really good actor. He's played some really good characters. He's even played some good characters as Obi-Wan. Hayden Christensen. Yeah. I'm not good with names. You tell me a name, I'm like, yeah, that one. But I can't remember names. There's a few actors and actresses' names that I remember, and that's about it. Heck, I was about to say one, now I can't remember his name. The guy that plays Witcher and was Superman. Can't remember his name right now.
I'm lost myself too, to be honest with you. Oh, Hayden Christensen. Thank you, Evil Outcast.
I was gonna say the guy that plays Witcher and Superman, he's like a major nerd, and I love the fact that he almost didn't get Superman role because he's playing WoW. he was he was he was busy in a WoW raid, and he was getting phone called, and he didn't want to pick it up, but he did. And if he didn't pick up, he wasn't gonna get the Superman role. Yeah, Henry Cavill. Yeah. That's one of my favorite things I remember. For whatever reason, I remember that. Did you want to pick the last story before we leave?
Sure. I got a creepy encounter here.
Perfect. Just let you pick whatever you wanted.
Back around 1991, I was 20 and newly single from my first love, unemployed and living with 2 friends. I started hanging out with one of my friend's church friends, kind of like street church people. Basic Christian beliefs, nothing crazy at all. Anyways, there were about 5 of them sharing a pretty big apartment, and we'd all hang out. And many people would drop by OIAW. This one girl, Bernice, dropped by one day. A very pretty girl, by the way, but around 7 or 8 years older than me. And when you're 20, that's a pretty big age difference in my opinion, but whatever. She would not stop staring at me the whole night, and she was very obvious about it, and everyone at the apartment could tell that she was acting really, really creepy towards me. Then after she left, they told me that she was a little off. It was a long time ago, so I don't remember exactly what they said about her, but I'll try to keep it simple. So about a week later, I think, I drop in and everyone is there staring at me when I walk through the door. "What's going on?" I ask. "Bernice was here today." "Yeah, and?" "She left a letter she wrote for you here." She had written a 2 or 3 page letter to me for everyone else to see and read, which is why they were all acting so freaked out when they told me about it. They told me it wasn't good. Basically, she starts out rambling about when she first saw me, she thought I was Jesus. And she goes on and on about it. Sorry. Saying... This story got me cracked up, sorry. Saying things like, "I'm not sure if you are or not, but I think you're him, and I love you with all my heart," etc., etc. I almost crapped myself halfway through reading this thing. To be honest, I don't really remember what I did about it afterwards, but I don't really remember seeing her at all after that. I think the guys told her nicely to stay away. Then, about a year later, I did bump into her at a club. It was about 2 or 3 days before Christmas, and I said hello to be to be polite, because she came right up to me. And then I remember her talking to me kind of normal for a few minutes. So I thought, okay, she came to her senses. A little bit. I was hoping and prayed. Within 5 minutes of the conversation, she invites me for Christmas supper at her mom's house with just her and her mother. I was out of there pretty quick. I got cracked up there. I couldn't help it. I was starting to read the, "I'm not sure if you are or not, but I think you are him, and I love you with all my heart."
Well, I was laughing too, but I mute myself so no one to hear me.
So funny.
"I think you're Jesus, and I love you." Okay, it's not usual that the female's the creepy one. It's really the guys.
Yeah, I know. That's hilarious, though.
"I think you're Jesus, and I don't know if you're not, but I love you either way." Okay, ma'am. Yeah, no, good.
Yeah, I'd be out of there real quick.
Yeah, I'd be gone so fast to make your head spin. Like the curtain falling down.
Yeah. Yep.
Vroom, you see a fire right behind me. Also, she left the letter for everyone else to read.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's really weird. That woman, I think they made the right choice.
And then like, "Hey, Jesus, you want to come to Christmas dinner? Celebrate your birthday with me?"
Hey, it's better than Easter where they celebrate the crucifixion.
Oh Lord.
Actually, yeah, no. I don't know how crazy she is, but yeah, definitely avoid her during Easter then.
Yeah.
She might sacrifice you for something. Dear Jesus, you have to die for my sins. What?
I already did that.
I did it once. I don't want to do it again. It sucked the first time.
Yeah, people. I don't know, people.
People be
That's all I
crazy.
gotta say. Just people.
People be cray cray. So is there anything coming up on your channel in the near future that you want to do a shout out about?
I'll be live tomorrow. Potentially with Interscare Wifey, or Mrs. Interscare, I should say. I need to get out of that habit. Potentially doing a live stream tomorrow with Mrs. Interscare. Other than that, nothing real big. Just, the normal videos that I post all the time. Camping horror stories is coming out in 10 minutes. So
Perfect
hopefully
timing.
y'all watch that. Yeah.
You guys have something to watch right after this. All his links are down below, including the one for Miss Interscare. To be fair, her handle is Interscare Wifey on a lot of stuff still too, so.
Yeah, I think she's locked out of her Twitter. Like she can't get into it.
Oh,
So
no.
that's why that's not changed.
Oh, she should see if she can do anything about that. I know Twitter is a pain in the butt to get a hold of, though. I mean, X.
Yeah,
Formerly
I think
known
it's like
as Twitter.
I think it's like a multi-factor authentication problem because I think that she did it whenever she had her old phone number and now she can't log into it with her new phone number, something like that.
Yeah. She might just want to make a new one and just put official behind it.
Yeah.
That might be her best bet.
Mrs. Interscare because
Yeah.
it's just Interscare Wifey on Twitter now. So
Yeah, fair. So don't follow the Twitter one down there that I sent for Interscare Wifey. Just her YouTube channel. It's still Twitter. It's still... Yeah, I know everyone calls it Twitter because X makes 0 sense.
it makes no sense.
Unless you say X, formerly known as Twitter. That's the only time it makes sense. I think it has to do with his space stuff that he has because it's called SpaceX. So I think you want Twitter X.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
Twitter X... No, even that doesn't work because in Japan it's Twitter X. That's actually what they call it. In Japan. Anyways. He didn't do enough research on it because he doesn't own the rights to X anyways because PlayStation does. Sony does, I believe.
To X.
Yeah, it's actually trademarked, weirdly enough. Also, it's a letter, so...
I thought they trademarked they call it cross is what Sony calls it.
Maybe.
They call it a cross.
Either way, the rights for X was not up. It wasn't something he could take. So...
But where it's a letter, I would assume it's probably like public domain using it.
Yeah. Unless he wants to do the certain font that the X is to be...
Yeah.
That...
The logo.
The logo could be trademarked, but not just X. But anyways, I know everyone calls it Twitter. I don't know anyone who calls it by that. I've heard a few people on YouTube say Twitter. I mean, I guess X. Everyone's like, just laughs and said, yeah, Twitter. Because it makes more sense. It's almost like it had its own proper following or something. Sorry, I'm a nerd. So
I agree with you.
tomorrow, or hold on, one sec. Hold on, I gotta double check this. I think it's actually not tomorrow. I think it's the day after. Before I give you the wrong information, guys. So on Sunday, I'm going to be live on Back to Ash's channel. So it'll be probably the same thing here, which is live reading, chatting, and all that stuff. And then going up on this channel will also be paranormal stories for you guys at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for you guys. So thank you everyone for joining us this evening. I hope you have a good night and stay safe. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.